My name is Ethan Carter, and I have always believed love is something you prove, not something you constantly say. I am an architect, and every building I design starts with a strong foundation. I thought relationships worked the same way. For 5 years, I gave everything to my fiancée, Claire Morgan. People called her the Ice Queen because she rarely smiled, rarely laughed, and never showed much emotion. Whenever someone asked why I stayed with someone so cold, I always answered, she loves differently. She doesn't need big words. I truly believe that. Our 5th anniversary felt special to me. I booked the same rooftop restaurant where I had proposed. I carried fresh white lilies because they were her favorite flowers. Inside my jacket rested a small velvet box with a new engagement ring. I wanted to surprise her before our wedding. I checked my watch. She'll be here, I whispered. The waiter smiled politely. Would you like another glass of water, sir? Not yet. She's coming. 30 more minutes passed. The waiter returned. Would you like me to keep your dinner warm? Please. She's probably stuck in traffic. I looked at my phone again. Nothing. I called Claire. No answer. 5 minutes later, my phone finally buzzed. Claire, important emergency. Can't make it. We'll celebrate another time. I stared at the message until the words blurred. That's it. I whispered. The waiter approached carefully. I'm sorry, sir. I forced a smile. It's not your fault. I paid the bill without touching the food. As I walked toward the elevator, my phone rang again. Hey, Ethan, my younger sister Olivia said. Happy anniversary. How's the celebration? I stayed quiet. Ethan, I guess I'm celebrating alone. What happened? Claire had an emergency. Olivia sighed. Did she at least call? No, just one text. That doesn't sound right. I'm sure she has a reason. You always say that. I rubbed my forehead. Maybe I do. Ethan, when was the last time she made you feel like her first choice? I didn't answer. She spoke softly. You deserve someone who shows up. I know. No, you don't. I'll call you later. Promise. I promise. After ending the call, I stepped onto the sidewalk. Cool evening air brushed against my face. Across the street, another restaurant glowed with warm lights. I almost kept walking. Then I froze. Through the front window, I saw Claire. She wasn't sitting alone. Ryan Brooke sat across from her. The same Ryan she once looked into my eyes and called ancient history. He said something that made her laugh. Not a polite smile. Not the careful expression she usually gave me. A real laugh. Bright. Warm. Alive. I stood there holding flowers meant for the woman who had forgotten our anniversary while smiling at the man she promised was no longer part of a life that I couldn't move. My hands tightened around the flowers until a few petals slipped onto the sidewalk. This can't be happening, I whispered. I watched Claire lean forward. Ryan smiled. I miss talking to you. She answered, It's been a long time. So, are you happy? She hesitated. I'm figuring things out. Those words hit harder than any punch. I crossed the street before I could stop myself. The hostess opened the door. Good evening. So, I need 1 minute. I walked straight to their table. Claire looked up, and the color drained from her face. Ethan. Ryan leaned back. I guess this is awkward. I looked only at Claire. You had an emergency. She stood quickly. Let's talk outside. No. Answer me first. She frowned. Not here. I nodded once. Fine. We stepped onto the sidewalk. She crossed her arms. What are you doing? What am I doing? You embarrass me. I laugh without humor. I embarrass you. You could have waited. I waited for 3 hours. I told you something came up. I pointed toward the restaurant. That's your emergency. She looked annoyed. Ryan needed closure. Our anniversary needed you. You always make everything dramatic. I stared at her. 5 years, Claire. I know. No, you don't. She sighed. It was one dinner. It was our anniversary. We can celebrate another day. I shook my head. That's not how this works. She looked at me with the same calm face she always wore. You're overreacting. I planned this for weeks. I didn't ask you to. The words stole my breath. You didn't ask me. No, I bought your favorite flowers. I never said you had to. I wanted tonight to matter. It isn't the only important day in the world. I looked down at the crushed lilies. I kept defending you. What does that mean? When people called you cold, I told them they were wrong. She stayed silent. I said you love quietly. Ethan, I believed every excuse. She looked away. I can't deal with this tonight. I asked one final question. Did you even remember our anniversary before I called? She didn't answer. That silence gave me the truth. Ryan opened the restaurant door. Claire, is everything okay? She turned toward him. I'll be right back. She didn't turn toward me. She turned toward him. Something inside me finally broke. I placed the flowers on a nearby bench. The new engagement ring stayed inside my pocket. It suddenly felt heavier than stone. Claire looked at me again. We'll talk tomorrow. I met her eyes for a long moment. No. What do you mean? For 5 years, I always chased after you. She opened her mouth, but I raised my hand. Not this time. I turned around. She didn't call my name. I kept walking. Each step hurt. Each step also felt strangely lighter. For the first time since I fell in love with Claire Morgan, I chose myself instead of begging someone else to choose me. The next morning, I woke up expecting a long apology. Instead, my phone buzzed. Claire, don't make last night bigger than it was. I stared at the screen. I typed, you missed our anniversary. Her reply came almost instantly. You embarrassed me in front of Ryan. I laughed bitterly. So that's what matters. It should matter. No, I typed, what should have mattered was us. 3 dots appeared, then disappeared. She never answered. I put my phone down. An hour later, Olivia called. You sound terrible. I've had better mornings. Come outside. What? I'm already here. I looked through my window and saw her waving from her car. 5 minutes later, I climbed inside. She glanced at me. You didn't sleep. Was it that obvious? You look like you've been arguing with yourself all night. I probably was. She started driving. I'm kidnapping you. I don't have the energy to fight. Good. Where are we going? To see Daniel. I frowned. I haven't talked to him in months. Exactly. We arrived outside a modern office building. Olivia smiled. Come on. Inside, I heard a familiar voice. Ethan. Daniel Ross walked over and hugged me. You finally decided to visit. I didn't exactly choose this. Olivia grinned. I did. Daniel laughed. She always was stubborn. I learned from Mom, Olivia replied. Daniel led us into his office. So, how's life? I hesitated. It's complicated. Olivia spoke first. Claire skipped their anniversary to have dinner with her ex. Daniel's smile disappeared. Seriously. I nodded. I'm sorry. It is what it is. No, Daniel said firmly. It isn't. He leaned forward. I've wanted you on my team for 3 years. I blinked. What? You heard me. I already have a job. You have a boss who buries your ideas. I stayed quiet. Daniel continued. I've seen your designs. They are just sketches. They're brilliant. I appreciate that. I'm not complimenting you to be polite. Olivia folded her arms. See? I've been saying the same thing. Daniel opened a drawer and placed a folder in front of me. What's this? A job offer. I looked at him. You're serious? I've never been more serious. I need time. Take it. He smiled. But don't take forever. As we left his office, Olivia nudged my shoulder. What are you thinking? I don't know. That's a lie. I've spent years building my life around Claire. And where did that get you? I couldn't answer. She sighed. Ethan, when was the last time someone chose you first? I looked away. I don't remember. Then maybe it's time you did. Her words stayed with me all afternoon. When I reached home, Claire was already there. She looked up from the couch. You're late. I was out. Without telling me. I placed my keys on the table. You didn't ask. She frowned. You're still upset. I'm still hurt. They aren't the same thing. No, I replied quietly. They really aren't. Claire stood and folded her arms. So, how long are you planning to punish me? I stared at her. You think this is punishment? What else would you call it? I call it consequences. She shook her head. You've changed. I finally noticed what I've been accepting. She grabbed her laptop. I have work. So do I. She paused. You. I met Daniel today. The college friend. Yes. What did he want? He offered me a position. She looked surprised for only a second. You already have a job. He thinks I deserve better. You don't need to make emotional decisions. This isn't emotional. It sounds emotional. I smiled faintly. It's the first logical decision I've made in a long time. Her phone buzzed. She glanced at the screen. I have to answer this. I noticed the name before she turned away. Ryan. She walked into another room. I heard her voice. Yes, I'll send the documents tonight. Don't worry. She returned a minute later. It was work. I didn't argue. There was no point anymore. The next evening I stayed late at my office to finish drawings. As I packed my bag, I realized I had forgotten an important blueprint at Claire's firm. She had borrowed it weeks earlier. When I arrived, the receptionist smiled. She's upstairs. Thank you. The conference room door was slightly open. Ryan's voice drifted through the gap. This merger will make both of us look incredible. Claire answered. We're almost finished. Ryan laughed. We make a good team. I stood silently. She had never mentioned any merger. She had never mentioned working closely with him. I walked away before they saw me. Outside, I took out Daniel's business card. I called. He answered immediately. Ethan, is the office still open? Daniel didn't hesitate. Absolutely. I accept. A smile filled his voice. You won't regret it. I already regret waiting this long. We'll start Monday. I'll be there. After ending the call, I felt something I hadn't felt for months. Relief. When I reached home, Claire looked up from the dining table. Where have you been? Working. You could have called. I could have. She frowned. You're acting strange. I'm acting differently. Same thing. No. She watched me carefully. Are you trying to make me chase you? I almost laughed. I don't need anyone chasing me. You'll calm down. I already am. She looked confident. You always come around. I picked up a glass of water. Maybe that's a problem. What does that mean? You'll understand soon. She rolled her eyes. You're being dramatic again. I simply nodded. Maybe she believed silence meant surrender. Maybe she believed I would apologize like always. She didn't know I had already accepted a new future. She didn't know every quiet answer pulled me farther away. Most of all, she didn't know I had finally stopped waiting for someone who never chose me first. My first week at Daniel's company felt completely different from every job I had ever worked. Daniel greeted me with a grin. Welcome home. I laughed. I've only been here 5 minutes. You'll understand soon enough. He walked me through the bright office before stopping beside a woman reviewing blueprints. Sophia. She looked up. So this is Ethan. Daniel nodded. The architect I've been trying to steal for years. She extended her hand. I've seen your portfolio. I shook it. I hope it wasn't disappointing. She smiled. It made me wonder why someone else was taking credit for your ideas. I blinked. You noticed that? It was obvious. Daniel laughed. I told you she'd understand. The morning disappeared inside meetings and sketches. Whenever I suggested an idea, Daniel listened. Whenever I hesitated, Sophia asked questions instead of dismissing me. Near lunchtime, Daniel pointed at one of my drawings. That's brilliant. I just solved the traffic flow. You solved 3 other problems too. Sophia nodded. You think 5 steps ahead. For the first time in years, I believed someone actually saw my value. My phone vibrated. Claire, I answered. Hello. Where are you? At work. You didn't tell me you changed jobs. You never asked. She sounded annoyed. When are you coming home? Later. I need you to pick up my dry cleaning. I can't. What do you mean? I'm busy. You've always made time before. I know. Silence filled the call. Finally she spoke. You're still upset. I'm moving forward. She sighed. We'll talk tonight. If you want. She hung up without saying goodbye. Sophia glanced toward me. Everything okay? It will be. She smiled kindly. Good answer. Later that afternoon, Daniel walked beside me. Can I ask something? Sure. Why did you stay so long at your old company? I thought loyalty mattered. It does. I confused loyalty with sacrifice. He nodded slowly. There's a difference. I know that now. When work ended, I drove home feeling lighter than I had in months. Claire sat on the sofa reading documents. She barely looked up. You're late. I had a project meeting. You could have cooked dinner first. I thought you'd already eaten. I waited. I'm sorry. She closed the file. You've been acting differently since changing jobs. I've been acting like myself. I like the old version better. The one who agreed with everything. The one who cared. I still care. It doesn't feel like it. I looked at her calmly. Maybe because caring isn't the same as obeying. She stared at me. I don't know who you are anymore. I picked up a glass of water. I'm finally remembering. Those words stayed between us long after the conversation ended, and neither of us tried to erase them. I realized the silence no longer frightened me. Instead, it reminded me that I had spent years fearing distance more than disrespect. Now the fear was fading, and with every passing day, I felt stronger than before. A few days later, Olivia called while I was leaving the office. Ethan, can you meet me? Is everything okay? Not over the phone. I'll be there. She was waiting at a quiet cafe with a man in a gray suit. She stood. Ethan, this is Marcus Hill. I shook his hand. Nice to meet you. Marcus nodded. Your sister hired me. I looked at Olivia. You did what? She took a deep breath. I wanted answers. Marcus opened a folder. I investigated Ryan Brooks. My stomach tightened. What did you find? He has a pattern. What kind of pattern? He reconnects with former partners, earns their trust, convinces them to invest in risky businesses, then disappears when the money is gone. I stared at the papers. Are you certain? I don't make guesses. Marcus slid several documents toward me. These women file complaints. Olivia spoke quietly. One of them agreed to talk. My phone rang before I could answer. Claire. I picked up. What is it? I need to see you tonight. I'll come. That evening, I found her reviewing financial documents. She barely looked up. You're late. I needed to tell you something important. She sighed. What now? Ryan is using you. She frowned. Excuse me. I have proof. I don't need proof. You haven't even seen it. I know Ryan. You thought you knew him years ago, too. She crossed her arms. You're jealous. No, you hate that we're working together. I hate that he's manipulating you. He believes in my abilities. So do I. Then stop attacking him. I placed Marcus's folder on the table. Read this. She didn't touch it. I won't. Please. I said no. Claire, listen to me. You want me to choose between you and a friend. I'm asking you to protect yourself. I can make my own decisions. You can. Then respect them. I closed the folder. I hoped you'd trust me. I trust my judgment. Her words settled heavily inside me. Without another argument, I walked into the bedroom. I opened the drawer beside my bed. The velvet ring box waited exactly where I had left it after our anniversary. I slowly removed the engagement ring from my finger. For a long moment, I held it in my palm. I whispered. I placed the ring inside the box and closed the lid. The next morning, Claire walked into the kitchen. Are we done pretending? I looked at her calmly. We done pretending. She frowned. What does that mean? I placed the velvet box on the table. I deserve someone who chooses me the first time. She opened her mouth. I didn't wait to hear another excuse. I picked up my keys, walked through the front door, and left without looking back. For the first time in years, the future felt uncertain, but it also felt completely mine. 3 months passed after I ended my engagement with Claire, and my life no longer revolved around waiting for someone else's attention. Daniel walked into my office carrying 2 cups of coffee. You've been here since sunrise. I wanted to finish the presentation. He handed me a cup. You've already finished it. I wanted to make it better. He laughed. That's exactly why clients trust you. Sophia entered holding a stack of blueprints. The committee arrives in 30 minutes. I nodded. Everything ready. She smiled. Because of you, yes. Daniel looked at both of us. Let's win this. The meeting lasted almost 2 hours. When the final presentation ended, the chairman stood and offered his hand. Congratulations. I blinked. Does that mean? It means your design has been selected for the National Skyline Project. I shook his hand. Thank you. Daniel slapped my shoulder. I told you they would love it. Sophia grinned. You earned this. For the first time in years, I celebrated without wondering whether someone else approved of my happiness. Later that afternoon, my phone rang. Mom. I answered immediately. Hi, Mom. Grace laughed warmly. I just saw your picture in the news. You already found it. The whole family has. I'm glad. No, Ethan. What? I'm proud. Her words meant more than the newspaper ever could. I wish Dad were here. So do I. He'd be smiling. I know. She became quiet. Have you heard anything about Claire? I hesitated. No, I have. I waited. People are talking. What happened? They say Ryan disappeared. I frowned. What do you mean disappeared? He convinced several investors to fund a company. And he vanished. My chest tightened. Was Claire involved? Mom sighed. She invested too. I closed my eyes. I warned her. I know. You don't sound happy. I'm not. Why? I never wanted to be right. That evening Olivia called. Did Mom tell you? Yes. I've been following the investigation. Any news? Ryan emptied the company accounts. I rubbed my forehead. How much? Millions. I stayed silent. Ethan, I'm here. I thought you'd celebrate. Why would I celebrate? After everything Claire did. I looked out the office window. I wanted justice. And not like this. Olivia spoke softly. You're still a good man. I don't know. Yes, you do. Before ending the call, she added, Marcus says the police have enough evidence now. It won't stay hidden forever. I thanked her and placed my phone on the desk. Sophia walked past my office and noticed my expression. You don't look like someone who just won the biggest project of his career. I received difficult news. Do you want to talk? I thought about Claire for a moment. Then I slowly shook my head. No. Are you sure? Yes. For the first time, I realized that choices no longer control my future, even if they still sadden my heart. That felt like quiet freedom. 2 months later, Daniel walked into my office holding a newspaper. You should frame this. I looked up. What is it? The business section. He placed it on my desk. My photograph filled half the page beside the headline about the National Skyline Project. I smiled. I never expected this. You earned it. Sophia stepped inside. There's someone asking for you. Who? She didn't give her name. I followed Sophia into the reception area. The moment I saw Claire, I almost didn't recognize her. Her shoulders slumped. Dark circles rested beneath her eyes. She stood slowly. Hi, Ethan. Hello. Can we talk? I glanced at Sophia. I'll be outside, she said quietly. Claire looked around. You've done well. I've been fortunate. You've been talented. I waited. She took a deep breath. Ryan disappeared. I heard. He took my investment. I'm sorry. My firm blamed me for recommending the merger. I stayed silent. The partners don't trust my judgment anymore. I'm sorry to hear that. She looked at me with tired eyes. Why are you still kind to me? Being honest doesn't require being cool. Tears filled her eyes. I came to apologize. I folded my hands. I'm listening. I always believed you would stay. She wiped her face. No matter how badly I treated you, I thought you'd forgive me. She laughed bitterly. I confused loyalty with weakness. I felt the truth in her words. I thought you'd always wait. I did wait. I know. I waited for years. She nodded slowly. I never thanked you. You don't have to. I do. She looked directly at me. I'm sorry for missing our anniversary. I'm sorry for every time I made you feel invisible. I'm sorry for choosing everyone except you. I took a slow breath. Thank you for saying it. She hesitated. Is there any chance? I gently shook my head. No, you don't love me anymore. I searched my heart before answering. No, the word hurt less than I expected. She closed her eyes. I deserve that. I didn't come here hoping to punish you. I know. I forgive you, Claire. She looked surprised. You do? I've carried enough anger. She cried quietly. I wish I had understood sooner. I wish you had too. She reached for the door. I'm happy you found your future. I hope you find yours. She nodded once. Goodbye, Ethan. Goodbye, Claire. She walked away without looking back. A few weeks later, Ryan was arrested after investigators gathered evidence from multiple victims. During the court hearings, Judge Harold Benson denied Ryan's request for release, citing the strength of the fraud case against him. Hearing the news brought no excitement, only quiet closure. I returned to my desk. Daniel smiled. You okay? I looked through the window at the skyline I had helped shape. Yes. For the first time in years, I felt no weight on my heart. I finally understood something simple. Karma had never needed my help. All I ever needed was the courage to walk away. 1 year changed everything. I unlocked my office door before sunrise, just as I had done hundreds of times since joining Daniel's company. Daniel walked in carrying breakfast. Morning, partner. I smiled. You still bring too much food. You still forget to eat. Sophia followed him inside with a folder. Good morning. Morning. She placed the folder on my desk. The city approved our newest proposal. I opened it. We got the contract. She nodded. We did. Daniel laughed. I told you promoting Ethan was the smartest decision I've ever made. I shook my head. You hired me. No. He pointed at me. You proved yourself every single day. Sophia smiled. You never stopped believing every project could become something better. I looked around the office. A year ago, I barely believed in myself. Daniel folded his arms. Now look at you. My phone buzzed. Olivia. I answered. Hey. I have news. What happened? The court finally sentenced Ryan. I became quiet. What was the decision? 7 years for financial fraud. I closed my eyes. So it's over. It is. Were there many witnesses? A lot. She paused. Marcus said their testimony made everything clear. I nodded slowly. I'm glad the truth came out. You sound peaceful. I think I am. Before ending the call, she added, Claire resigned from her law firm. I frowned. Really? She's volunteering at a legal aid center now. Good. You're not angry. I stopped carrying that anger months ago. I'm proud of you. Thanks. After hanging up, Sophia looked at me. Everything okay? Yes. You look relieved. I think an old chapter finally ended. She nodded. I know that feeling. Daniel checked his watch. We should celebrate tonight. Sophia laughed. I already made reservations. Where? She smiled. The rooftop restaurant downtown. I recognized the name immediately. For a brief moment, memories returned. Then they faded. Daniel noticed my expression. We can choose somewhere else. I shook my head. No. Are you sure? I spent too long letting one memory control me. Sophia looked at me kindly. Then let's make a better one. That evening we reached the rooftop just before sunset. The city stretched beneath us in golden light. Daniel raised his glass. To new beginnings. To hard work, Sophia added. I lifted mine. To choosing the right people. Daniel's phone rang. He looked at the screen. I have to take this. He stepped away. Sophia smiled. I guess it's just us for a minute. I don't mind. She looked across the skyline. You've changed a lot. I had to. No. She looked at me. You chose to. Her words made me smile because, for the first time in years, someone noticed my growth instead of expecting my sacrifice, and that difference meant more than I could ever explain. That I looked at Sophia and smiled. Thank you. She tilted her head. For what? For reminding me that change is a choice. She laughed softly. I only told the truth. Before I could answer, I noticed someone standing near the restaurant entrance. Claire. She looked different. Her expensive business suits were gone. Her expression was calmer, but sadness still rested in her eyes. She saw me. Then she saw Sophia. For a long moment, none of us moved. Sophia followed my gaze. Do you know her? I used to. Claire slowly walked closer. Hello, Ethan. Hello, Claire. She offered a small smile. You look happy. I'm glad. Sophia stood. I'll give you two a minute. I gently shook my head. You don't have to leave. Claire nodded. She's right. She looked at Sophia. I'm Claire. Sophia. Claire smiled politely. It's nice to meet the person who makes him smile. Sophia glanced at me. I don't make him smile. I laughed. You do. Claire lowered her eyes. I spent years believing he would always wait for me. Silence settled between us. She looked back at me. I was wrong. I answered quietly. We both learned something. She nodded. I learned love isn't guaranteed. And I learned self-respect matters. She took a slow breath. I'm volunteering at a legal aid center now. I heard. I can't change the past. No, but I can become someone better. I believe you can. Tears filled her eyes again. A year ago, I thought success meant winning every argument. She smiled sadly. Now I think success means becoming someone people can trust. I nodded. That's a better goal. She looked around the rooftop. I remember the last time we were here. So do I. I almost came over tonight to apologize again. You already did. I know. She smiled faintly. I guess I wanted to thank you too. For what? For walking away. I looked surprised. She continued. If you hadn't, I would never have faced the person I had become. I felt no anger, only peace. She stepped backward. I won't interrupt your evening. You aren't. She smiled at both of us. I hope your future is everything you dreamed about. Thank you. Goodbye, Ethan. Goodbye, Claire. She turned and quietly walked away without looking back. I watched her disappear into the elevator. Sophia reached for my hand. Are you okay? I smiled. I've never been better. She squeezed my hand gently. What are you thinking? I looked across the city skyline glowing beneath the evening sun. I'm thinking revenge was never my greatest victory. What was? Choosing my own happiness. She smiled. I like that answer. So do I. As the light slowly filled the city, I silently thanked the painful anniversary that had once shattered my heart. Losing the future I imagined had opened the door to the life I was truly meant to live. The greatest karma was never watching someone else fall. It was becoming someone who no longer needed revenge to finally feel whole.